How are we going to get rid of racism and stop talking about it? How are we going to get rid of racism and stop talking about it? Rid of racism and stop talking about it. I'm going to stop calling you a white man. Yeah. And I'm going to ask you to stop calling me a black man.
I'm going to say something some people might consider controversial. For most of what is called social justice, for most of what is called Black Lives Matter, I strongly believe that these are people who have experienced little to no racism. Minimal racism. I'm not talking about the dude who shot all the cops. That was somebody who probably actually had experienced some racism. What I'm talking about is spoiled people, virtue signalers. These are the people who are badgering us through social media, through hashtag campaigns, through school programs, through university initiatives and protests. These are people who I am willing to bet a lot of money on minimal racism. Very few people have called them a nigger. They probably have no police record. Whether they deserve to have one or were profiled or framed or who gives a fuck. I'm talking about rich or middle class people who lived probably in predominantly white areas, who are raised amongst all that happy-go-lucky, let's all be nice, let's be friends, let's be tolerant, let's respect everybody's cultures, and let's not bully people. However, I strongly have a feeling that beta personality is with these people. These are people who were bullied. These are people who were not popular, were not cool, who envied their more successful, their more socially relevant peers. I think that because I used to be one of those people. I was not successful in high school. I was not cool in high school. I didn't excel in extracurricular, I don't even know, how the fuck do you say that word? Extracurricular activities in high school. Not me. Some people tell me I'm smart. My grades didn't reflect it. Sorry if that was sounding like being a humble brag, but it's true. And girls didn't like me. I weighed about 70 pounds more than I do right now in high school. I had a worse haircut and a worse fashion sense than I even do right now. But now I don't care. And now I get along just well with my peers. And I have friends whom I respect and respect me. And I am happy. I am content with my personality. I'm content with my sexuality. I'm content with my history, my race, my ethnicity, all that shit. I am fine. Ironically, these are people who want to tell you, I love being black, or I love being gay, or I love whatever. They don't. They hate it about themselves. The projection that I sense from these people is very strong, and I am convicted of it, although this is something that is hardly testable other than through surveys, of which people could lie or tell the truth or anything in between. I'm just venturing a guess, a hypothesis, if you will, that the BuzzFeed yellow people, for instance, are self-loathing black people. And the white people who get alongside them and say, oh, I'm a black ally, are actually self-loathing white people. Because the narrative is, ironically, the Klan with a tan. They are telling everybody, look at us, everybody thinks we're inferior, nobody likes us, everybody hates us. Everybody hates us. And the rest of us are like, no, we don't. We don't even know who the fuck you are. Who are you, hipster faggot? Okay? Why does everybody want to appropriate my hairstyle? You know that whole shtick that started on like Vines and shit of, what are those? And people are pointing at shoes? About all the black people I know would look at these BuzzFeed yellow Chiquita banana looking fucking haircuts these black chicks are wearing and going, what the fuck is that? Your hairstyle is just, you wanted to wear that and you wore that. And those were the consequences. In high school, I had fucking the craziest, curliest, longest hair that I wore in a style far worse than anything you've ever seen in any of my videos. Some people are bemused. That's generally the state of my, the comments I get, the tone I get from when people look at my very curly, very fluffy, very voluminous hair, much like yours, black person. And they called me crazy hair. All my stoner friends and all my drugging college times that whatever, it's not important, neither bragging nor going, oh, poor little old me about those experiences that were both positive and negative, blah, blah, blah. The point is, they all called me crazy hair. And they're like, oh, look at your hair. And their response was neither, your hair is stupid, and their response was not, your hair was cool. Their response was, your hair was different. And I really liked that response, so I, fed into it. I'm quite sure that a lot of black people, these wild and crazy, and look at me bleach and actually perm this beyond what it would normally do, even as a black person's curly hair, and go, oh, look at that. Isn't that different? And I look at a lot of these BuzzFeed people with their crazy-ass hair and go, I don't think anything negative about your hair. I think maybe a mildly positive thing about your hair, but that's because it's different. Ambiguously different. It is so doubtful that all of these very young 20-somethings, I'm a older 20-something, have ever been called a nigger with specific malicious intent by an authority figure. I am more than willing to believe that they were called nigger by somebody teasing them in elementary school, or middle school, or high school, or maybe even some drunk asshole in college where people are supposed to be kind of growing up by then. I don't believe them. They aren't 1960s people being tarred and feathered. They certainly aren't strange fruit. But they want to be different. And there's the rub. Sorry for taking so long to get to the point. They think being a nigger, not a black person, not, as Morgan Freeman said, just another person, but they think being a nigger makes them different. They want to believe that people who look like me think, in our heads, whether we say it out loud or not, nigger when we look at them. I don't. If I saw some of these BuzzFeed people on the street, even the black ones, I have some of that's my fetish when it comes to differences between people. I like different a lot, which is why I'm sort of thinking I relate to some little facet of their mindset, where I think I got an in into that SJW mindset. I think people whose skin color is different than mine, whether it's Hispanic or Asian or black or mixed, doesn't matter. I think that's sexually attractive. I think people whose hair is different than mine, whose eye color is different than mine, are more attractive than people who look like me. I like different. I like not only different than societal norm, I like different than me. Which is why part of me weeps for these people. Because the point of this video was to show in what ways I can relate to a very unrelatable, very selfish, and extremely, ferociously, just intensely narcissistic and egocentric manner of thinking. I don't possess that thinking. I'm not sure I ever had. But these people are envious of the societal norm. They are not eschewing it. They are not dropping it or discarding it like a hipster or something. No, they envy it. They hate it. And here in America, when it comes to skin color, and as far as authority, white and male. But just white is the population majority, and authority figures are male, and they kind of put it together a bunch. And I am going to go on a limb and say that a lot of these people wish they were white men. And they hate that they're not. And the way they deal with that is they decide, you know what? Let's all get together and agree and just write the rules of culture. That fuck white men. Fuck them. We hate them. We hate them. We hate those filthy white men. We hate them. They want to steal our precious, precious societal norms. We will be the societal norms. It's that fucking twisted. I apologize for that, ladies and gentlemen, but it is that fucking twisted. It is that unfortunate and neurotic. I really believe that. And I would like to be convinced otherwise. Make no mistake, I'm not a bigot about it. This is a hypothesis. And if anyone's got a better one, I don't want to believe this. It's just what the evidence leads me to believe. The way these people talk, the way they look, the way they dress. They think, well, if they can't be the societal norm, and if they can't participate in the societal norm, which is, by the way, something that they've decided, not something that anybody's ever fucking told them in their entire fucking lives, ever. Ever. Nobody's ever told them they couldn't participate in this discussion. Ever. I'll bet my fucking life on that. I'll bet my fucking nutsack on it. They've never, ever been told they can't participate. They've never, ever been told they can't possibly be cool. They can't possibly be leaders. Ever. However, they've decided that that's the case through their own insecurity and neurosis. Therefore, fuck white people. White people are bad, and in fact, white people envy them. White people wish they could have that crazy ethnic hair and that interesting skin color, maybe those crazy accents or whatever. White people are so normal. White people are so basic. White people aren't normal. The word they want but won't say is generic. They want us to be seen as boring and not cool and not exceptional and not interesting. Because they think we are. More so than we are. And they think they're such shit. Way more than they in fact are shit. Catastrophizing people, these are. Don't buy into that shit. Think for yourself, speak for yourself, and for God's sakes, all of you, respect yourself. I assure you that that's why I'm not the same guy I was in high school. And that's why I don't think like these people anymore. Thanks for watching.